Hello everyone. Symbiosis Centre for Information Technology presents On Air with AdCom. Welcome to the next episode of our podcast. We are joined today by Mr. Aarsh Thakkar, who graduated as an MBA in IT Business Management from SCIT in the year 2018. He is currently working as a consultant at KPMG. Sir was an outstanding student during his time at SCIT and had also won the Best Student Award Faculty Choice. Apart from this, he was actively involved in sports and is a huge cricket enthusiast. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm going good. And thanks to the team admissions team at SCIT for inviting me for the podcast. I would like to greet everyone, and I will welcome the new joinees who has joined and aspirants who are looking to join SCIT. And we can looking forward for a great conversation today.
So, with the ongoing pandemic, it has caused a lot of changes in our life, especially me as a student or us as students. We are doing everything virtually now, and we were expecting to be on college by now, and it's kind of turned our lives upside down. So, how has it been for you?
Well, it has been the same at our end as well. Things have changed professionally as well as personally. Professionally, if I talk, things have changed in consulting world a lot. Consulting is used to be people being at the client side, working with the client hand in hand, doing strategy, doing consulting, doing advisory, doing being at the client side, meeting the CEOs, COOs to know their outlook, know their goals, and then plan and strategize accordingly. Client meetings have gone online, requirement gathering has gone online, which used to be the I according to me the most important part of the project. Everything has gone online. Well, there has been a little bit of commotion, but I think things have coped up, and I think everyone has coped up, and things are as it is. Consulting never stops, and it has never stopped. I think everyone has been getting used to working from home, and now I think they can continue as well. And if you ask me personally, I think my parents would be the happiest person on the planet right now. I have never stayed at home for more than 10 days in the last 10 years. So I think, yeah, they're pretty happy with that.
I totally agree with you, sir. So that is one thing that lockdown has brought us, right? Bringing us close to our parents and our relatives and our loved ones and all. Yeah, and before the pandemic, I really felt that I've always been on this autopilot mode, rushing through the life and all. I think this lockdown and pandemic has certainly implemented a certain sense of patience in all of us. Don't you think so?
Certainly, certainly. So be it handling the clients, be it answering to the client calls at any time of the day, be it 8 a.m. or be it 11 p.m. So I think everyone has calmed down. Everyone has built in patience to handle clients, to handle work life balance together. I think yes, lockdown has brought us a sense of patience. I agree with you.
Coming back to the crux of this episode, students who are aspiring to do an MBA, they usually, relate it with, say, finance or marketing or an operations or an HR as their specialization. What made you choose IT as your specialization, and how do you end up choosing SCIT, sir?
Well, coming from an IT background where I did my BTech in IT from VIT Vellore and had been working with Accenture as a software engineer for more than 2 years, I was always inclined towards IT. But when I decided to do my master's or an MBA, and I had a few discussions with my managers, my senior managers at Accenture, they always told me one point that whether they're a manager or not, they have to be very very well versed with the current technologies. They have to be very well versed with the IT concepts. So that is where when I decided that I wanted to do a specialization in IT and I wanted to do an ITBM. And when I came across the SCIT curriculum and when I went through the SCIT specialization that SCIT offered, it was the perfect blend and the perfect match to what I aspired myself as a techno-managerial role 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line, where I looked at myself handling teams, leading firms, being a CTO of a firm. That is what I looked at myself doing, and I think SCIT gave me the right platform and the right jump in my career that I needed.
That's great, sir. Now it makes a lot of sense why you chose IT as your specializations. Moving on to the next question. I know it's been quite some time since you took your SNAP exam. It'd be great if you could share the strategy you had used.
Sure. SNAP being one of the most competitive exams out there in the country, I had a special SNAP strategy defined for attempting the SNAP exam. I I had a few sections which I was strong at, and I had a few sections which I was weak at. My main motive was to attempt the strong sections with more time, give it more time, give it more attempts, and then move on to the least strong sections where maybe I can skip questions if I want to. So I think time management and answering the right questions is the key. And if you ask me about the preparations, I since I was working while I was preparing for the SNAP examination, I think I was highly dependent on the mocks. I did not get appropriate time to prepare from materials. So what I used to do is I used to give mocks maybe twice or thrice a week. I used to I used to see the feedbacks from the mentors, and how that is how I used to prepare for my SNAP examination. And I think the strategy worked.
Talking about the SNAP exam, sir, this year there's been a change in the pattern of the exam, and the aspirants now can appear the exam twice, and even the duration of the exam has now been reduced to 60 minutes from what it was 120 minutes. How do you think they should seize this opportunity, considering the number of attempts they have, and do you have any suggestions for them?
Sure. So I think this is a great boon that the SNAP examination is given to the students. I think personally, I think if you ask me, not everyone is the best on a single day. There might be days when a very brilliant student does not have a good day and the examination does not do good. I think the second attempt will give them a boost, will give them more confidence, and will give them a sense of relief that if they do bad on a single day, there is a chance to prove their might on the other day. But what I would again suggest the students is not to take this two attempts lightly. I would suggest they should give every attempt as the last attempt. They should aim to score the maximum on the first attempt. And I think the time decrease that has happened from 120 minutes to 60 minutes, I think that will make students work more on their time management. They will have to attempt the right questions at the right time, invest right time on the right questions, and maybe this will give more criteria, better criteria for the colleges to shortlist them. I think they will get into the right fields where they want to.
Certainly. Also, I believe the part where you mentioned attempting the right question makes a lot of sense to me because I had a similar approach when I took my examination. So, before we come to the end of this episode, is there anything else you want to add?
Sure. Thank you, Srinath, and thank you, Team Admissions, for inviting me on this podcast. I think this is a great platform that you guys are creating for the aspirants that are looking to join SCIT in future. Being a proud alumni of the college, I would say to the aspirants that this is the right platform where SCIT will get you the right jobs that you're looking at, the techno managerial jobs that you're looking at. You will be leading firms, you will be leading teams, you will be leading organizations. I think you are if you choose SCIT, you'll be choosing a right platform for your future.
Thank you for sharing with us your views and tips. I hope our listeners enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you everyone for listening and stay tuned for the next episode of On Air with AdCom.